All right, it looks like we are live. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Michelle Christensen of michellechristensen.com, and I'm a speaker, strategist, and best-selling author for solopreneurs or one-person businesses. Now, even if you've never heard this word before, solopreneurs are everywhere. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, at least three-fourths of the businesses, of all the businesses in the U.S., have no employees. So that means that there are a ton of solopreneurs out there. Now, most people start their solopreneur business just doing something that they love or something that they're great at. But sometimes it can be hard to actually make a business out of that thing, even if you're really great at doing it, because running a business is a completely different skill set than doing what you do for customers. And not everyone has that. If you've never studied business or had any training, you may not know how to run a business. And it's sort of a pet peeve of mine that people assume that everyone should know how to run a business just because you have a great product or service. There's actually a specific skill set and knowledge base that has to do with running a business, and it's completely learnable. But to think that you should be born with it is just, in my opinion, not accurate. So that's what I do. I help people to learn the business skills and learn how to run their solopreneur business so that they can have a business that's profitable and sustainable and enjoyable and have a great life. So one of the reasons I created this series of tips, they're called to-do list tips, is because solopreneurs are busy. We have a really big workload. Like when you do it all, you've got a lot on your plate. But I have a series of simple tips to give you that will help you to make very small changes that have a big impact. When you use these tips, you'll feel more on top of things and more in control and more confident that you're working on the right thing right now. So you can find the entire to-do list tips series either on my blog or YouTube channel. So for today's tip, I want to talk about a simple way to prioritize your to-do list. If you already have a solopreneur business, you're probably familiar with this difficulty in prioritizing because, first of all, there's going to be a whole lot of things on your to-do list all the time. They also cover a wide range of things. There's things that you do for customers and things that you do behind the scenes and things that you do for your infrastructure, like your website and such. And there's also things you do to expand or for later growth. So it can be very hard to sort this all out and figure out what to be working on. Now, as a solopreneur, there's always more that you could be doing than you can actually get done. There's always one more way that you could be promoting or one more thing that you could be creating or something like that. So it is really important that you have a solid way to prioritize your to-do list and your workload and to know what to be working on. Now, I'm going to give you a very simple way that I use to prioritize my tasks and to-do list and my workload, and it just has 3 layers to it, so it's not difficult at all. Now, the very first thing to prioritize on is keeping your doors open. These would be things like filing your taxes, any licensing or certifications that you need, any memberships that you need, professional type memberships, that kind of thing. So things that literally make it so that you can have a business. Those would be number one, because if you can't keep your business open, it's going to close. The second thing to prioritize are things that actually make you money. In the short term, this might mean serving your existing customers and filling existing orders. In the long term, it involves things like creating new products and finding new customers or new prospects for your business. Now, the third thing is this everything else category. I would put things in here that are fun, but maybe not necessarily effective. Like if there's a certain social media platform that you just love, but doesn't really work for you, but you want to do it anyway, that would go here. If you like in-person networking, but haven't had any results from it, but you still like to go because you need to get out of the house, that's fine too. Just remember that these things that are fun but not very effective for you are in that lowest priority category, unless you can find a way to make them more effective, in which case they might actually become money makers and could move up to the second tier of the priorities. The other thing I would place in here is any experiment that you do that is completely kind of unfounded or out of the blue. I'm a big believer in constantly experimenting in your business. So always trying new things, tweaking, testing, measuring your results, repeating your experiment, that kind of thing. And generally, that means that you're kind of always on a path of, tweaking a little bit. So you have good reason to believe that what you're going to do will work. But sometimes you just get the urge to try something and it's completely out of the blue and you have no idea if it's going to work or not. And that is a great thing to do sometimes. You might hit upon something great, but it shouldn't be your priority because it is, a gamble. You really don't know if it's going to work or not if it's kind of out of the blue and unfounded. So the takeaway for this is keep your to-do list and your workload in these three priorities. There are things you do to keep the doors open, things you do to make money, and then everything else can be the third priority to that. Now, if you liked this to-do list tip, you can go to michellechristjensen.com/daily and get a copy of my free report, which is called The 5 Biggest Mistakes That Solopreneurs Make in Writing Their Daily To-Do List and How to Avoid Them. And then before you leave this page that's showing you the video, I would love it if you went below the video and used the social sharing buttons to share this video across your social networks. Thanks a lot. This is Michelle Christensen, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.